Well, hello everyone. How is everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing wonderful, well, and good. I know that I am. And hello to my kiddos. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging with me. I am glad that you guys managed to come in here. How are you all today? How is it going being off of school this week? I hope you all are having a great day today. I just got done. I watched last night. I watched once again the Despicable Me movie because my kiddos wanted me to watch Despicable Me with them or for them and then discuss it here. So in our chat, we have my 4 girls hanging with us, and we're going to talk a little bit about Despicable Me. Now, one of my favorite things about this particular movie is, of course, the Minions. I love the Minions. The Minions are so cute. They're these little tic-tac shaped, They're these little tic-tac shaped yellow dudes with like sometimes 1, sometimes 2 eyes, goggles. They got these really neat kind of overalls, which actually my daughter, Abby, likes to wear overalls too. So, I don't know, maybe she's trying to be a minion. Are you trying to be a minion, Abby? Is that what it is? Are you a minion? Do I need to get you some goggles? As you can see, I'm wearing my Minion shirt. So, it starts off, that movie is so funny. You start off with Gru, which is this, like, he's a guy, but he's got this really, 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 really long pointy nose. I guess she doesn't. Okay. He's got a really, really long, really pointy nose. He's kind of weird looking. But he's got a really cool... Hey, Jukas, how's it going, buddy? He's got a really cool thing that he has, which is this freeze ray. And he goes into like a Starbucks, and everybody... Grumpy guy hates everything. Yeah, he kind of does at the beginning of the movie, doesn't he? He's very grumpy and he hates... Yeah, it is kind of like a snowman, that really long nose. And he goes in and he's looking to order his coffee, but there's so many people in front of him, he can't order his coffee. So you know what he does? He takes out his freeze ray and he's like, zap, 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 zap. He freezes everybody. And he's like, freeze ray, freeze ray. Freeze ray! And he just freezes the whole place. And then the lady behind the counter is like, here's your drink. Because she knows if she don't give him his drink, he's going to freeze her too. And he's a criminal. He's a bad guy. But he's the lead character in the whole movie. How do they make the whole movie about a bad guy? And those little yellow pill guys that run around, they're all bad guys too. They look for the worstest bad guy in the whole world to work for. Can you believe it? They work for the worstest guy in the whole world. And Gru is apparently the worstest guy in the whole world. There's nobody as bad as him. Until you meet Vector. But who do you guys think is worse? Who's a better bad guy? Is Gru a better bad guy or is Vector a better bad guy? I think Gru's better. Also, I think because Gru grows, that obviously he's way better. And Vector isn't really, he's not really a nice guy. He doesn't get to be a nice guy at the end. Neither, huh? Oh, the guy at the bank? Ooh, he's really bad, isn't he? Vector, huh? Really? It seems like the kids are a little bit split. Some think Vector, some think Gru, and at least one of them thinks the guy at the bank. And I gotta say, the guy at the bank is pretty mean. You know, he pretty much tells Gru, I'm not going to give you any money because you're not a new enough bad guy. I want new bad guys. But what he doesn't tell Gru Is it the money that he is going to give to Vector? Vector's his son. Yeah, Vector's his son. What's going on? What kind of bank gives all their money to somebody's son and not to other people who need it? That's not a very good bank. That's not a very nice bank. That's kind of mean, I think. So, Gru has to try to find a way to get a shrink ray, which Vector has. Gru wants to steal it eventually. He wants to steal it first, but Vector gets to it first. And then Gru's going to steal it for him, but for that, he needs somebody on the inside. And he adopts these 3 little girls. And I got to say, when I was watching it, I recognize those girls a little bit. Yes, he does. He wants his son to be successful. Off to the moon, yeah. And you know, those 3 girls reminded me of other girls I know. Kinda. You know, the tall, kind of studious one, the older girl. She reminded me of my daughter, Abby. You know, she's kind of like the mom of the other girls. She takes care of everybody. And she's like, oh, okay. Let's make sure everything's going good. That kind of reminds me of Abby. Now, the middle girl, the little middle one with the hat and the blonde hair, the one that's kind of like, ah! That kind of reminds me of 2 of my girls. It reminds me of my twins, Emily and Violet. It reminds me of both of them. Because sometimes they can both be like really quiet and kind of sitting there, but other times they can be like, ah! And crazy silly. It's great. But then, also, for some reason, the littlest one, the littlest girl, she not only reminds me of my daughter Jane, but she also kind of reminds me of the twins. Because she does some kind of the same stuff. She's like, ah, crazy. I know you unicorns. It's so fluffy! It's so fluffy! Ah! And that cool book that he reads them with the 3 little finger puppets, the 3 little kitten finger puppets, that was pretty cool. Dr. Nefario in there. Oh, I don't know though, the minions are really my favorite in there though. But I did notice a few things while I was watching it. Like, did you guys ever notice that the oldest girl, the oldest one, the t-shirt she's wearing has a picture of the Lorax on it? Which, Illumination, which is the company that made Despicable Me, a couple years later made the Lorax movie. I think they're giving an Easter egg back then. And then, also, don't forget, the Minions go way, 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 way back in time. Like, yeah, go back and watch it. The shirt she's wearing has a picture of the Lorax on it. It doesn't look exactly like him, but you can tell it's supposed to be the Lorax. I found that out when I was watching. I was like, holy moly. Into ocean. What into ocean? What's into ocean? You mean the Lorax? No, the Lorax was the one from the trees. No, the t-shirt she's wearing. But did you guys notice, did anybody notice that when Gru was stealing, when he was stealing the moon, when he used that, yes, they did. They started in the ocean, right? Yeah, they evolved out of the ocean, right? They're like some of the first life forms to ever evolve. And that means they're pretty much immortal. Because they've been around forever. And you never see any of them get killed or anything. They never get hurt. Like, one of them got bonked over the head with a hammer and kind of went, ah. But then another one got like blown up with a whole rocket. And that was just, And he came over and he hit the one who shot the rocket. He's like, silly. It's a really fun, cool movie. It doesn't matter if you're an adult or if you're a kid. This is one of those movies you can sit there and watch. Even if you're an adult and you're sitting there by yourself, you can watch that movie. There's funny stuff in there for adults too. And you just see these little minions bopping around doing their thing. And Babadoodle, 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 Babadoodle. Oh! They just got these crazy little voices. They got these cute little eyes. Like I said, they look like little Tic Tacs. They're teeny tiny. What's crazy and scary? The show. I know. Because, like, if they're immortal, then doesn't that mean get more and more power and eventually they'll be the ones taking over? Because, I mean, also, Gru's got a ton of them. But in the very first Minions movie, in the actual Minions movie that came out afterward, there's only like 200 and something minions that evolved from coming out of the ocean. But Gru's like, he's got thousands and thousands of minions. So that must mean he found a way to clone them or something, right? Oh, absolutely no more bananas anywhere. Banana. No more banana. No more banana. But I think King Bob can handle it. Bob... Alright, does anybody know the Minions? Because Bob is totally my favorite Minion. I don't know. Maybe they're just playing stupid, though. Maybe they're really actually very smart, but they're waiting. They're biding their time. They're waiting. Yeah, but he's really cool. Bob is the coolest of all of them. He's got 2 different color eyes. That's why I like him. He's got one eye one color and one eye another color. I think one eye is green and one eye is like amber or brownish colored. So, he's really cool. Plus, he gets to be king. I mean, how can you go wrong when you get to be king? You know, and he's Bob. You don't get much funnier of a name than Bob. Bob. B-O-B, Bob. 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 Excuse me. Bob. Whew. Bob. Whew. I seem to have the bob-ups. Bob. Whew. Weird. But I think that's a really cool movie. And the animation style is really good. They got Steve Carell to do the voice of Gru. I don't know who did all the voices of the different minions and the kids and stuff, but I thought that the acting and everything that they did was really great. Steve Carell did a great job with doing an accent and kind of keeping it throughout, but not really doing a real firm accent. Like, you can't really pin down where he's supposed to be from. He just kind of has that generic, almost Transylvanian accent to make him sound a little bit more menacing. But he's not really. His mom is from around here. So, I don't know what they're supposed to be having going on there. What's supposed to be what with the what with him. Where he's supposed to be from. But I think he's just supposed to be from the United States, so I don't know where he got that really weird accent. His mom is kind of weird. But she's kind of cool too, because at the very end, she tells him that he became not just a good parent, but maybe even a better parent than her. And he's got the 3 girls living with him, and he's taking care of them. And he really went from being a very selfish, very mean guy to being a very caring, very loving dad. And that's only in the first movie. There's more movies than that. I really think that in this first movie, his growth was awesome. Banana? Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah. And then at the very end, he's sitting down with her, and she said, and actually the kids are sitting down with her while he's doing stuff, and she says that he did a good job. And that really, I think that's one of the best parts of it, because it shows that one of the most important things you can do in the world is be there for your family. I honestly don't know how they did it. It's possible, like, I can do my squeaky voice. It's possible that they had somebody do a voice like that, or it's possible that they have people just recording into a mic and then they speed it up some too. They've spoken a bunch of different languages, and actually, if you listen when they're talking, if you listen really, really careful, you have to go listen really careful. You can hear some English words. There's also some Spanish words in there. I heard some Italian, some German, and some French. So they mix a whole bunch of different languages together to make the Minion language. But since the Minions kind of came out of the sea first, does that mean that all of our languages actually come from Minion language? Or did the Minions just make up their language based on everything they heard us talking? I really think, though, because they came out of the ocean and they started with having their conversations and stuff, their language must have come first. So English and all these other languages that we use, that must have been from them. We must have learned language from the Minions, right? That would make sense, because in the Minion movie it showed them coming out of the ocean and evolving before humans did. In fact, when they're in the ocean still, if I remember right, they were following a fish. They were following a fish. Scarlet Overbill. Now, wasn't she the bad guy for the Minions movie? The one that they were working with before they worked with Gru? I think she was the last person who took care of them before Gru did. And then Gru came along. And the other thing you got to notice, everybody else that had him, everybody else that had the Minions working for him were really, really mean. They were always really mean to the Minions. Or the Minions messed things up and they would get really mean to them. Yeah, kind of watched out for them, because even though the Minions are working for them, they still need help. They are, like you said, they're kind of like kids. They still need to be, like, you need to watch them and make sure they're doing the right stuff. Yeah, but Gru is supposed to be evil, but he still cares about the Minions. So it proves that even though Gru was supposed to be evil, he really had a good side in him all along. Because he really cared for the Minions. Even after he started having the girls, he started giving the Minions kisses at night. He always checked with them when he would go in. Every time he would go down to the lab, what did he do? We always saw him checking in with the Minions and asking them how they were doing, asking them what was going on. He's a very caring person. Even though they made him out at the very beginning to be this really mean kind of jerk, I knew he wasn't going to be that way throughout the whole movie. Even the very first time I watched it. Because he was just so nice to the Minions. And I was like, how can anybody who's so nice to such a cute little thing be bad? Yup, wanted to get him off the face of the earth. But Gru took them in, and now they're his Minions. And I think they're actually kind of like his family. Don't you guys? Don't you think that Gru kind of made the Minions into his family? He kind of, even before the girls came around, he had the Minions and he had Dr. Nefario. And while Dr. Nefario was doing his own thing, Gru definitely was taking care of those Minions, making sure they had bananas, making sure that their workplace was, I guess, as safe as possible. They obviously had a place to live. And the fact that he was making more of them and needed them, and he never, like, in any, at least in that very first Despicable Me movie, you never saw him sending any of them. You know, he was never neglectful toward most of them. There was the one who got hit with the anti-gravity ray who ended up going out into space. But mostly, he never really neglected his minions. He made sure they were all safe. He made sure they were all taken care of. He made sure they were fed. I don't know if they actually need food. They never really say if they actually need food or not, but I need to go back and watch the actual Minions movie and see what happens in that, because that one basically takes place over like a billion years. Because he starts off, they're your cousins. The minions start off evolving out of the ocean and then work their way through. True. Gru took the crown from Scarlet Overkill. Yeah, he did, and that was in the Minions movie, and that was also the one where it wasn't Bob. Who was it? Do you guys remember which one it was that got enlarged? Which of the minions got like made into a giant minion? That was pretty cool. I thought that was fun. There was a lot of really good comedy in these movies. And like I said, you don't have to be a kid to enjoy it. And if you do have kids, it is definitely something you can sit down with your kids and all watch together as a family movie. There's going to be stuff the kids are laughing at. There's going to be stuff you're laughing at. And some of the stuff is going to mesh and some of it ain't. Because some of the stuff is definitely jokes directed for adults. And some of it is definitely jokes that are meant to keep the kids giggling and keep them interested. There's a lot of fart jokes and stuff like that, which is really fun. You know? It's really fun to see them do their little fart jokes, and when they're talking to when Gru is talking to Dr. Nefario and telling him what he wants to do, when he comes back and Dr. Nefario, Kevin, okay, Kevin got big, all right, yes, King Bob took the crown, yes, that's how he became King Bob, but yes, the fart gun, oh. No, I said a dart gun, not a fart gun. Not a fart gun. I said cookie robots, not boogie robots. Cookie robots. Just too silly and cute to not laugh at. And I ended up finishing it today before Lauren went off to work, or for you girls, before Mama went off to work. I sat down and finished it upstairs. I tried watching it down here on my TV, but for some reason Peacock won't let me watch it down here. So I had to go and watch it upstairs. But that's okay. It was a good movie. Oh, the fart gun was the greatest. What do you mean, why do I have to be so old? Because when people are born, they grow up. That's what happens. But just because you grow up in age doesn't mean you have to grow up. There was a thing, you kids probably won't remember it as much, but anybody older will remember it. Back when I was a kid, when me and Mama were younger, one of the biggest commercials on TV was for Toys R Us. And they had a whole theme song. I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid. So many toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. From bikes to trains to video games. It's the biggest toy store there is. The scientist is Dr. Nefario. He was pretty cool. He's a little bit, I think his hearing's a little bad. I think Dr. Nefario's hearing's a little bit bad. I think that's what it is. That's why he heard fart gun. That's true. Some people don't grow up. There are some people who choose not to grow up. And it's okay to not grow up all the way. To keep some childlike wonder and stuff like that about you. But the thing is, you have to grow up and do your responsibilities. You grow up, you take on your responsibilities, you do them, but you can still remain a kid. I mean, look at me. I'm over 40 years old, and you know what I do a lot? I watch movies and TV shows, and like this movie, like Despicable Me, I will watch cartoons. I like cartoons. Yes, sometimes it is bad to not grow up all the way. Sometimes people do need to grow up all the way. But the thing is, it depends on how a person is. If you are grown up and all you want to do is act like a child and not have any responsibilities, that's not good. But if you're a grown up and you handle your responsibilities and then sometimes you like to go and hang out, that's okay. Which is kind of what Gru did too, right? He took care of his responsibilities first, but he made sure he made time to play. He'd make time to play with the minions, and he made time after a while to play with his daughters. It took him a while to understand how important those girls were to his life. It's like that. It's very hard sometimes for adults to understand that. You know, that we need to make time for ourselves, but we also need to make time for our kids, and we need to make time for work and our responsibilities and everything. And sometimes that's the hard thing that adults have. We get pulled in so many different directions all at once that sometimes it's hard for us. So what we have to do is we have to try to split ourselves up as much as possible. Sometimes that means us doing more than one thing at once. Like when I get done here, I'm already planning in my head. Even the whole time we're here talking, I'm planning all the rest of the stuff I have to do for the rest of the day today. Because when I get done here, my room here is actually kind of messy. You can't see it because of the way I have the camera set. But my room's kind of messy because I had a live on one of my other channels last night. And I've got another live coming up later on today on another of my channels. So I have to clean my whole area and get everything all set. Now, you know what I could use to do that though? Some of these guys. I could use a couple of these guys. A couple of minions to do the work for me. I could just tell them, clean up. Get everything in here clean. Maybe like, babadeo, 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 banana. And then they go off and they do their thing. You kids are coming home next week. You're all kind of small. You could be my minions. I'll put you all to work. That's what I'll do. I'll just have babadeo, babadeo. Ote, 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 babadeo, banana. Oh. They're really cool. They're just these neat little amalgams of, I don't even know, to me they look like little Tic Tacs with arms, legs, and then the pants and the eyes on them. I was like, that's pretty cool. These things are so dang cute. So, I really enjoyed watching the movie. As per usual, I enjoyed doing my live here. It is 10:30. Aw, you don't want to be my minions? Alright guys, I do need to get heading off because I have to do some more stuff. I had a great time talking about the Minions and Despicable Me. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please make sure you click that thumbs up like button to let me know that you like the stream. And if you guys aren't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. And if you did both of those things, find that little bell icon. It's the notification icon. It's down at the bottom, like over here somewhere. It looks like a bell. You click on that, it'll notify you anytime I upload new content. Now, typically I try to upload at least once a week. They would be terrifying in real life, wouldn't they? The minions? Real ones? Ooh. So, if you guys are following me new over on either Facebook or Twitch, please make sure you click on the follow button and you get your notifications set there as well. I do try to go live every Wednesday at usually noon. Today was a little bit earlier because the kiddos were home and I wanted to come on and get a chance for them to come on and hang with us. With summer coming, I'll probably be doing more lives at that time when they're here, so that I can do some lives that they can participate in, and maybe even over on Ozzy's Kiddos, for those that want to do lives, we can even do some lives together. We can get some of the kids to do a live together. I do have to leave because I have a lot of work I have to get done. I have a lot of prep work for my other live. I have a lot of cleaning to do, a lot of housework to do. In fact, we got most of the thing done in Mama's radio room now. All we need to do is we made our own molding. We went and we bought wood and then we routed it. So we made our own molding and I painted it. We just need to put that up now. And then Mama's room will be done and we can move her stuff in, which means we can tear down the wall, which means we can start putting down the floor tiles, which means we will be able to have our new floor done soon, which means we will be able to work down here, Miss Abby. You will be able to help me lay down these tiles if you are still around and listening. If not, let her know, because we're going to be able to do that very soon. And that also means that pretty soon we will be able to figure out where things are going to go down here to start getting ready for carpeting and everything too. More stuff coming. So, to my 4 girls, thank you so much for coming in. Abby, Jane, Violet, and Emily, thank you guys for coming in and spending time with us. To Lil Jukas and the few other people who popped in and said hi, thank you all for coming in. For anybody watching this now or in the future, thank you guys for supporting the channel. I want to thank all of my mods who worked tirelessly to come in, Lil Jukas being one, who worked tirelessly to come in on our lives and make sure that nobody is in here causing trouble or nobody is being a jerk to anyone. Thank you guys for all that work. I want to thank my buddy Big Bad Fox 19, who provides most of the music here for the channel. Not the music that we had playing today, but most of my music here for the channel. I also want to thank the newest additions to the ozpinions family, my parents, my mom and dad, and my sister Kirsten, who are all going to be contributing authors for scripts for the channel here. And last but not least, I want to definitely thank my cousin Christian, who is my merch ambassador. He is going to be working with me doing all of my merchandise for all of my channels, and we're currently in the process of getting stuff ready, so you guys will be seeing new merch for all of the channels very soon. I hope everyone has a great day. I will talk to everyone later. To all of my 4 girls, I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you all very much. I cannot wait until you guys get home this weekend. I am looking forward to our Easter egg hunt that we're going to do. Meme, Pepe, and Auntie Curdy cannot wait to see you guys. And of course, me and Mama miss you to heck and back. I will talk to everyone later. See you all later. Ozzy out. Bye, guys. Yes, I love Bishop, my dear. Bishop was one of my favorite characters that came around in the 90s. Love you, girls. Love you, all my girls. And to everyone else, thank you, guys. Have a great one.